You've seen Marvel villains, but not like this. One devours cities. One hijacks your soul. And one, he shattered into 666 bodies to take over the world. These aren't just enemies, they're nightmares Marvel buried in the dark. By the time you meet the final villain, you'll question if Ghost Rider ever truly stood a chance. Watch till the end. Let's kick off with one of the darkest villains from the Ghost Rider universe, Blackheart. Born from the malevolent will of the demonic entity Mephisto, Blackheart was conjured using the concentrated wickedness lurking in Christ's Crown, New York. As Mephisto's son, Blackheart doesn't just share his father's dark ambition, he seeks to surpass it. Obsessed with dominion, Blackheart sets his sights on overthrowing Mephisto to claim the infernal throne. Initially, he attempts to ensnare heroes like Spider-Man and Daredevil into moral collapse, but when that fails, he turns his gaze toward Ghost Rider, Punisher, and Wolverine. After a major betrayal in the event known as Circle of Four, Mephisto casts him out of hell. Refusing to surrender, Blackheart teams up with his lover, Gary Oil. Their plot: unleash hell on Earth. Their dark ritual demands the sacrifice of 100 souls. They construct a deceptive front, the Devil's Den, a casino in Las Vegas, designed to lure debt-laden souls. Ghost Rider, X-23, Venom, and Red Hulk intervene but perish in battle. Yet Mephisto, unwilling to let his son succeed, revives the fallen heroes for one last stand. Together, they thwart Blackheart's apocalyptic scheme. Vengeful, Blackheart captured Mistress Death, his own sister, causing universal disruption. But once again, his ambitions collapse. Deadpool intervenes, rescues Mistress Death, and restores order. In a bizarre twist, Blackheart assumes the identity of Chicago's mayor and allies with a gang leader named Drake. His goal is to make the city a breeding ground for humanity's downfall. Falcon challenges him, and during a climactic encounter, Drake uses the mystical key of Abaddon to banish Blackheart back to hell, ending a supernatural riot. Later, Mephisto commands Blackheart to capture the time-displaced souls of Tommy and Billy Maximoff. Blackheart invades Avengers Academy, but, overwhelmed by human empathy, releases them. Disgraced, he returns empty-handed, and Mephisto punishes him by stripping his powers and casting him to Earth as a mortal. Now going by Gabriel, the once demonic prince learns to navigate human life. He even shows up at a Tony Stark party, which, unsurprisingly, ends in disaster. As a demon, Blackheart wielded arcane abilities, conjuring hellfire, manipulating energy, casting spells, and warping reality. Strangely enough, he was said to emit the scent of roses mixed with burning ink, a fitting metaphor for his paradoxical existence. Now moving on to the next villain on our list, we have Mephisto, the architect of evil himself. A transdimensional demon lord, Mephisto rules over a hellish realm not to be confused with religious hell or Hades. His domain houses lesser demons and twisted souls, many of whom were once human. His origins are cloaked in speculation. What's known as this: Mephisto thrives on soul bargaining. Over millennia, he has manipulated countless mortals into trading their souls. Among his earliest manipulations was bonding a man with a spirit of vengeance, thus creating the first Ghost Rider. Interestingly, Mephisto even claimed to have written Paradise Lost in 1667 under the guise of chronicling Lucifer's rebellion, a tale he saw as a prophecy of his own destiny. Fearing defeat at the hands of Spider-Man or his daughter, he constantly plots new machinations to stay ahead of fate. From tricking Johnny Blaze into a soul pact to meddling with Spider-Man's personal life in One More Day, Mephisto's schemes are vast. In that storyline, he saves Aunt May but erases Peter Parker's marriage and unborn child from reality. He also wipes knowledge of Spider-Man's identity from the public mind. Despite his might, Mephisto isn't limitless. He draws strength from his realm and grows weaker the longer he remains outside it. He cannot claim souls without their consent and cannot read the minds of the free-willed. Still, his powers are terrifying. He can manipulate time, transform into any form, regenerate, summon hellfire, bend reality, and command dark forces. He is tangled with everyone from the Silver Surfer to Doctor Strange, always with self-interest at heart. Next we have Zarathos, the raw spirit of vengeance. An ancient, fiery force bound to the Medallion of Power, Zarathos was worshipped by cults and feared by the supernatural. In his lust for control, he was eventually challenged by Mephisto, who defeated him using a soulless warrior named Centurius. Mephisto began tethering Zarathos to mortal hosts, a strategy that led to Johnny Blaze becoming the Ghost Rider. But this fusion was far from peaceful. After being separated by the Crimson Mage, Blaze, realizing the havoc left behind, sought to rebind with Zarathos, this time on his own terms. Though Zarathos turned on him, Blaze outwitted the demon and reclaimed the spirit. Zarathos possessed not just mystical might but deep command over earth, sea, and sky. He could manipulate natural forces, strike deals with mortals, and wield devastating magical energy. While not a martial artist, his combat instincts and occult knowledge made him a force to fear. Up next we have Lilith, the twisted matriarch of demonic legacies. Not to be confused with biblical lore, Marvel's Lilith is an ancient goddess turned demonic entity. Revered and feared as the mother of all demons, she gave birth to entire races of nightbound horrors. The Leline, succubi, and incubi. As legend has it, she once seduced the first man, Adam, creating demonic offspring. Later, she helped spawn the world's first vampires in Atlantis, becoming their unholy mother figure. Lilith draws power from souls, which she uses to birth more Leline. The more she births, the stronger she becomes. She can seduce, unalive with invisible forces, teleport, and tap into ancient dark magic. With foresight into future events, Lilith manipulates timelines to her favor. Her strength and stamina rival gods, and her command of the occult makes her a deadly adversary. Next we have Blackout, born of Lilith, bred for terror. Ray Kerrigan, known as Blackout, is a half-demon assassin and one of Lilith's deadliest spawn. Gifted with enhanced strength, speed, agility, and resilience, he thrives in the dark, literally. Blackout can extinguish light in his vicinity using his mind. His night vision and supernatural reflexes make him a lethal predator. This eerie life-taker rose to prominence in Ghost Rider, Spirit of Vengeance, where he served as a key antagonist. Blackout doesn't just represent brute force, he embodies fear, creeping in like a shadow that extinguishes hope itself. Under the command of the twisted demon lord Rourke, a new terror was forged in the depths of hell, a merciless assassin named Blackout. Once human, Rourke transformed him into a demonic entity capable of shifting into pure darkness. In this shadow form, Blackout became death incarnate. Anything he touched crumbled into oblivion. But even this nightmarish creature was not invincible. When Blackout crossed paths with the Spirit of Vengeance, Ghost Rider, he met his end in a blaze of justice, his soul shattered by the infamous penance stare. Next we have Lucifer, the fragmented fiend. Lucifer, Satan, the Prince of Lies. He goes by many names, each dripping with dread. Yet, in the Marvel Universe, the true nature of this infamous figure is a deception. The demon who claimed the title of Lucifer was, in reality, far lower in the infernal hierarchy. Once a servant of the celestial one above all, this fallen entity was banished to hell after his rebellion. Through cunning, he manipulated Ghost Rider into ferrying him to Earth. But the crossing ripped his essence into 666 pieces, each fragment latching onto a corpse and walking the earth. Each destroyed vessel made the remaining fragments more powerful. In a cruel twist, Lucifer wanted Ghost Rider to unalive his hosts, unwittingly helping him regain his full demonic form. During one confrontation, Johnny Blaze's girlfriend, Dixie, was tragically caught in the crossfire. Yet, Lucifer's schemes were eventually undone, exposed as just another trickster trying to play God. Next we have Tzadkiel, the traitor of heaven. Once a herald of compassion and mercy, Tzadkiel was a heavenly archangel who chose rebellion. He supported Lucifer's uprising and, as punishment, was cast out of heaven alongside his Black Legion. In his exile, Tzadkiel was charged with managing Earth's spiritual order. He manipulated humanity and the Ghost Riders, making them believe they were creations of hell. In truth, he was their secret architect, using them as pawns. Eventually, Tzadkiel's ambition outgrew his purpose. He waged a divine war, usurping heaven's throne and seeking to destroy the prophesied Antichrist. But before his apocalyptic vision could be fulfilled, a coalition known as the Legion of Ghost Riders defeated him. Banished by the true God, Tzadkiel fell from both heaven and hell. Armed with angelic might, Tzadkiel wielded celestial weapons, donned enchanted armor, and manipulated souls with devastating magical prowess. He was a fallen angel, a deceiver, and a warrior, brought down by his lust for dominion. Next we have Vengeance, the corrupted riders. Not every Ghost Rider is a force for good. Two men bore the cursed mantle of vengeance, each driven by grief, anger, and betrayal. Michael Battolino's family was obliterated by Zarathos' hellfire. Misled into blaming the Ghost Rider, Michael made a pact with Mephisto, becoming a grotesque, rage-fueled version of the Rider. He hunted Johnny Blaze and Danny Ketch with unrelenting fury. Kowalski, a cop betrayed by Ketch's intervention, lost his career and spiraled into addiction. When Zadkiel seized heaven, Kowalski became the next Vengeance, consumed by bitterness. Like all Riders, Vengeance possessed superhuman abilities and wielded hellfire and the penance stare. However, holy weapons crafted in heaven remained his greatest weakness. Next we have Scarecrow, the harbinger of fear. Born from tragedy, Ebenezer Lawton endured a childhood of abuse and neglect. A circus performer with a talent for training crows, he descended into madness and villainy. Known as Scarecrow, he became an enemy to heroes like Spider-Man, Iron Man, and Captain America. Eventually clashing with Ghost Rider, Scarecrow was left nearly dead, only to be revived and enhanced. Given powers that emitted fear-inducing pheromones, he gained supernatural speed and healing. Still, Ghost Rider ended him. Yet death couldn't hold him. Blackheart resurrected him with new powers of possession. Ultimately, Falcon apprehended him, and Scarecrow was imprisoned in the raft, but the terror he sowed remains legendary. Next we have Deathwatch, Lord of Death's Pain. In the human world, he wore the mask of Stephen Lords, a corporate overlord. In truth, Deathwatch was a supernatural being fueled by agony and demise. His ambition? Wipe out New York and New Jersey with a deadly biotoxin. He dispatched Blackout and his ninjas to reclaim stolen toxin canisters. Simultaneously, he sought the Medallion of Power, but Ghost Rider and Kingpin thwarted him. Ghost Rider nearly unalived him in battle, but Deathwatch survived and was locked in the raft. During the Civil War conflict among heroes, he allied with villains like the Hood. Deathwatch could drain life through touch, weaponize pain, and psychically torture victims, making him a sadistic force on the battlefield. Next we have Centurius, the soulless Avenger. Once a prince in a forgotten era, Centurius loved deeply, until the cult of Zarathos razed his village and seized his beloved. Desperate to save her, he climbed the mountain of meditation and cried out for salvation. Mephisto answered, at a price. Though Centurius rescued his love, his soul was forfeit. Empty and bitter, he turned against Mephisto, Ghost Rider, and Zarathos alike. Lacking a soul, Centurius became immune to the penance stare, making him a dangerous foe for any spirit of vengeance. Next we have Kazan, the demon who once was angel. Once the angel Micah, Kazan fell from grace alongside Lucifer. Banished to hell, his spirit endured and evolved, feeding on souls. He became a demonic wraith, surviving through possession and dark rituals. With help from the sinister Earl Gustav, Kazan broke free and forged a physical form from sacrificial remains. His brother Malachi, still in heaven, feared Kazan's rise and unleashed Ghost Rider to stop him. Kazan aimed to tear open Hell's gates and flood Earth with demons. Ghost Rider destroyed his earthly form, forcing Gustav to invoke the recall spell, sending Kazan and his army back to damnation. Though incorporeal, Kazan could create bodies, cast dark magic, and survive without food, water, or sleep, a timeless terror bound only by incantation. And there you have it, 12 of the most bone-chilling villains to ever haunt the Ghost Rider saga. These aren't just monsters. They are echoes of humanity's worst fears, twisted into demonic form. Their stories aren't just about destruction, they're about temptation, betrayal, and the price of power. Each of them forced Ghost Rider to face the inferno within. Some broke him, others only made him stronger. But all of them, in their own way, burned their mark into his soul. Now that you've met the twisted souls who challenged the spirit of vengeance, who do you think was the most terrifying? Was it Blackheart's betrayal? Mephisto's manipulation? Or maybe the soul-draining wrath of Centurius? Drop your pick in the comments. Let's see who really sent chills down your spine. And if you're into the darkest corners of Marvel lore, hit that subscribe button. We're just getting started.